Do you really need a gym membership, or are you about to just legit waste some money? And the reason I'm doing this series is because it's the season. Everybody in January starts to think about, how they're going to be a better, healthier version of themselves. And the first thing that people always think about whenever it's like, I'm going to take better control of my health and take better care of myself, we always immediately default to working out first. And like clockwork, January, crowded, crazy. February, a little bit less crazy. March, ghost town. And if you're a regular gym goer, that was when you actually loved the gym again, because it was like back to normal, because unfortunately people fell off. And I hated that even more once I got into the fitness industry. So this whole series is to hopefully save you some money and really help choose the right gym for you, if a gym is even the best option for you. Did you know that gyms actually bank on you not showing up consistently? Because that's how you're paying their bills, essentially. The gyms actually cannot afford for everyone who pays to actually go regularly. Only 18% of paying members actually go to the gym regularly. Regularly is considered 3 times a week or more. Planet Fitness, on average, has about 6,500 members per gym. That is 6,500 members per gym, yet the gym only holds 300 people. So imagine if everybody who was a paid member of Planet Fitness decided to show up one day, they would be shut down. There would be no room. And that's exactly what they're banking on. They're hoping that, the people who are paying stop going, but yet they continue paying, which actually happens. So why is that? There's some theories on that as well. We sign up with this idea of we're going to go, we're going to work out, we're going to be fit, we're going to do this thing. And so we really play into who we want to become. We want to be this fit, healthy person that works out multiple times per week. That's what we envision. And even though it doesn't really, when it starts to not happen, we're still holding on to this image of, no, I'm going to get back to the gym, so let me keep paying, because I don't want to have to start all over with an enrollment fee. And then of course they talk to you about this grandfather rate, where even if things increase, you won't have to. So we keep falling in love with this vision of who we want to be versus what's in reality, what actually happens. And because, especially with Planet Fitness, these things are only $10 a month, it seems like no big deal for you to just have that $10 a month coming out, yet you're not actually going. So that's how you're getting gamified before you even start going to the gym. At this point, if you have a gym membership and you haven't been in a little bit, just cancel it. And I do want to make sure that I'm very clear with this one point. You don't need a gym membership. You really don't. You don't need a gym membership to lose weight. You don't need a gym membership to get stronger, to be healthy, to get fit, to even gain muscle. You don't need a gym membership for that. You have the outdoors, and you can just get a couple pieces of strength equipment and you would be good. So let's just be clear on that first. You don't need a gym membership. What is it about the gym membership why is it that you're interested in it? For some people, it's an accountability thing. It helps them to feel accountable to someone when they're going to the gym. Whether it's either that they have a trainer, there's a favorite instructor, even the front desk person, they feel that going to the gym makes them feel accountable to someone. You could go to the gym because you just like being around other people. That was a main motivator for me, especially in the beginning. I don't really talk to people, but I like just being around the energy of other people. So it was a great thing. It's a feeling of belonging. Gyms create pretty much an instant community, especially once you get going, you start chatting with people, especially in the classes, and they can become some of your closest friends. So it brings a community feel. Sometimes it's just the classes. Maybe you want to dabble in yoga and Pilates, but you're not really sure if you want that to be the only thing you do. Going to a gym where they have some group fitness classes, you can get some strength training, you could do some dance stuff, you can do some Pilates, some yoga, and it's all for a much lower price point than if you were to go to individual studios. You get to have a coach. A lot of gyms have personal trainers and nutrition coaches, and so you even have the availability of a coach, and that can make, the why of a gym membership worth it to you. And it's also not dependent on the weather. And for most people, that means that it's a lot safer. The other thing to consider is, what is your personality type? Because there's some folks where it's just really, it's not even a good idea, because it's not even a good part of it's not even in their personality to really be at the gym. So it'll be a waste of time and a waste of money. Do you even like going to the gym? Okay. And you may feel like that's not a fair question, because you may not know that until you start going. But in reality, the gym can be super freaking boring, because let's face it, If you are running on the treadmill, you ain't going anywhere. You're running nowhere. If you're on an upright bike or in a spin class, you ain't going anywhere. You're just pedaling nowhere. Same thing with the elliptical, same thing with the step mill. And it's even worse if you have machines because, yeah, you're pushing something away and bringing it towards you in some form or fashion, but you're not going anywhere. You're not moving anywhere. So it can be really boring. You know, all you see are mirrors, other people. There's typically not a lot of windows around. So it can be really boring. So unless you know that you're kind of like a motivated person and you actually enjoy going to the gym, you're probably not going to go because that can get really boring really, really fast. The other thing you have to think about with your personality, are you a competitive person? If you're a competitive person, then the gym may be awesome for you because I didn't even know I was a competitive person until I actually started going to the gym because like I said, I didn't even know. I didn't play sports in high school or college, so I've never really thought that I was a competitive person. But let me tell you, if somebody got on the treadmill beside me, I would try and run faster. If somebody was lifting weights next to me, I would try to lift weights heavier than them. And it just became this competitive thing. So if you're a competitive person, the gym can be an awesome place for you because then you're thinking like, okay, like I can push myself a little bit harder because I'm competing with the person that's next to me. All right. Are you outgoing or are you more introverted? Do you have insecurities? These are also parts of your personality that you need to consider if you are thinking about a gym membership. If you're a person that's outgoing, you'll probably become like that gym guy or that gym girl that like eventually knows everyone. You know the trainers, you know the front desk person, you know the instructors, they all know you. It's like Cheers. You walk in and they're like, hey, how are you? And you're like, oh my God, hi. And they know everything about you. So that can be really cool if you're an outgoing person. I may seem outgoing here, and I am kind of outgoing with some people, but I'm pretty introverted and I keep to myself. And my gym persona is not an outgoing one. So if you're introverted like me, you really have to figure out, is the gym a good place for you? Because, you know, you could have some people that want to talk to you and, you know, approach you and want to be friendly. And if you're a little shy or you get anxious with stuff like that, it may not be the thing for you. And especially when we're talking about January, when it gets super crowded, if you do have some anxieties or you're really, really introverted and shy, it's not a good setup. And you probably wouldn't go for long. You may not even get out of your car to go into the gym because it's just way too much for you to handle. The other thing is with the insecurities, not sure if you noticed, but there are mirrors all over the freaking place in the gym, right? And those mirrors are not for you to pick yourself apart. However, we are human and that is what we do. Whether you're male, female, somewhere in between, it doesn't really matter. When you see the mirror, you start looking and you're like, damn, like when did I get that extra roll of fill in blank, right? And then you can start to critique yourself in a way where you're picking yourself apart, which was never the intention of the mirror. And then you start having this like, just like horrible self-esteem because every time you go to the mirror, you're picking yourself apart. And so you're working out because you hate your body instead of working out because you love yourself. So consider that as well. The mirrors are actually there for you to check your form, or, you know, if there is somebody hot, it is also a great way to check out other people without really being noticed. Not like I've done that myself. Right, I've done that myself. What usually gets in the way of you working out usually? What has stopped you in the past? Has it been time? Has it been motivation? Has it been energy, not really knowing what to do, or just boredom in general? If it's time, then there are some other things to consider that's going to come up when it comes to that. If it's motivation, the gym may not be the place for you unless you're going there for just classes, because you would pretty much have to self-motivate unless you're getting yourself a coach. If you don't really know what to do, that's another way where the coach would be a good idea. But if you're not really willing to invest, then it can be kind of a waste of money. If you don't have the energy, because that's another thing, if the energy is holding you back, those are things that are workable. And if you typically get bored, if you have had a gym membership before and you got bored, you're probably going to get bored again. So don't think that your boredom is going to automatically disappear unless you come up with a new strategy for it. The other thing you need to consider, is it convenient for you to even go to the gym? So this is where the time factor comes in. Studies have shown that the most successful gym goers, which are people that are working out 5 or more times a week, they actually live within a 3.7-mile radius from the gym. And the interesting part about that, the people who only go once a month, or less, which how do you go less than once a month? Well, you probably don't go at all. They actually live like 5.1 miles away or longer. So what was interesting about that is that it's just less than 2 miles that keep people from being regular gym goers and like hardly ever going. And if it's an inexpensive gym, then you have to be even closer. So what they surveyed is that for the people who go to an inexpensive gym, it has to be within 3.2 miles for them to actually go regularly. Okay, because like I said before, it's easy. You get $10 taken out, you don't really notice it. And let me tell you, you can repurpose that $10 towards a charity and it'll do much better. Planet Fitness does not need your charitable donation. Okay, so on the contrary, if it's a popular and pricey place, then people are willing to travel further. So if it's like a Soul Cycle, Barry's Boot Camp, Flywheel, people are willing to travel 5 to 6 miles to go to that class. You know, there's exclusivity there. It's like a different type of community. It's this like, you know, you feel more committed because you're paying more money. So that could, you know, think about that with if you're going, what type of gym you're going to join, which of course that'll be in a different video as well. So with my personal thing with that, my gym is literally across the street from my building. Like there's no like, oh, it's across the street and down the way. Like I'm exaggerating with it being across the street. Like it is literally across the street. And it's very helpful because it's in your mind every single time I go out the front door of my building. When I'm walking my dog, all I see is the gym. When I'm coming home, all I see is LA Fitness. So it made it really, really appealing to go and to go often because that's all I freaking saw all the time. So it made it very easy to go. And like, what am I going to say? Like, oh, it's inconvenient. It's across the freaking street. So that was really helpful for me. You either want to make sure that your gym is either very close to your home or close to work and that you actually go to work often, you know, in the whole land of remote working. You want to make sure that you go by it often. And you also need to figure out not just how far the gym is distance-wise, but how long it takes you to get to the gym. Because in Atlanta, 5 miles could be 1 hour. If traffic is crazy or, you know, just different times of the day, really drive there and see, is it worth the crazy? Because nothing is worse than like you trying to get to the gym. You're stressed out that you can't make it to the gym because of the traffic. And then you just say, forget the gym. And next thing you know, you're in like McDonald's drive-through and you have like a milkshake and fries and a Big Mac and the whole gym thing has just been abandoned. Then the other thing to consider is when you want to go to the gym and what the gym looks like during that time. So if you can do a free pass, and I'll talk about this as well in another video, if you want to go in the morning, is it super crowded? What about the afternoon and what about the evening? How are you with crowds and how does that play into the equipment that you may want to get on? You also need to consider what's your fitness level. What's your fitness level? If you're a super beginner, may not be the best idea for you to join the gym, especially if you're not considering hiring a coach. If you're a super beginner, I always just tell folks, focus on the basics like nutrition, get your food down, and you can go for walks outside. That's free, right? So unless you're going to like get a coach, it may not be a great idea for you to just, you know, super beginner, just walk up in there and really feel that you're going to be self-motivated to do everything. The likelihood of that is unfortunately rare. So if you're a beginner, okay, that's cool. Maybe you know how to work the machines only. And I would still encourage you to hire a coach because if you just know how to do machines or maybe like 1 or 2 routines on the machines, consider some of those other things like, okay, is it going to be super busy during the time that I want to go? Or what happens if someone's on that machine and that's the only machine or the only routine that I know how to do? What happens when somebody like interrupts your game? Do you know what to do or are you just lost and you're just walking around the gym aimlessly? Okay, so those are things to consider as well. If you're an intermediate person, then you probably know how to use the machines. You probably know how to do some free weights. You know how to do some cables. And you can probably put together some of your own workouts. Will they be perfect? Probably not, but it'll get the job done decently. I would still recommend that you hire a coach just so that you can get some variety. But you can probably, like, let's say somebody's on the chest press machine. You probably know how to set things up on a cable machine to do a chest press, or you know how to properly do a chest press on a bench or a stability ball or the floor. Okay, so factor that in. And then if you're an advanced person, like, go off. You can do whatever you want. You can be in the gym or out of the gym because you know how to put together a comprehensive program. You know how to navigate if things are super busy, what you can do if, you know, something is taken that you want to be on. You know how to navigate that. So consider that as well with if you should buy a gym membership. All right, then you have to also consider how much is this frickin' gym membership. We've talked about already that the cheaper it is, the easier it is not to go and not to cancel the gym membership. But is it worth the cost based on the number of days that you know that you're going to go? Okay, so we'll talk about in a different video, I'll talk about just how you can be more committed if you definitely choose to do a gym membership or keep your gym membership. But for now, is it worth it? So one thing that you can do is take the, you know, the amount that it's going to cost you per month, break that down per day. And this is before you decide to join the gym. So let's say, you know, you're looking for a gym that is $30 a month, right? And you're just like, okay, that ends up being $1 a day, right? Just on average. And see for the number of days that you actually work out. So every day you work out, either, you know, you could put an actual dollar into a jar, or you can actually just, you know, on a calendar, put $1 or a dollar sign and add up the number of days that you actually work out versus what the gym membership costs. And that will let you know right then and there, is this worth it? So you may not be a gym person, but here's some other things that you can look into. If you want to stay at home, you can do YouTube videos, online fitness folks, or work out at the gyms that you already have in your atmosphere and in your environment. You know, like, do you have a fitness center that's in your community? Do you have a fitness center that's in your building? It may not be perfect, but can it meet your needs? And then you may also have a fitness center at your workplace. So consider that as well before you purchase a gym membership. So I'm going to give you my personal thing. My personal thing is that when I first started working out, I did actually, of course, join a gym. I didn't know any other way around that. And I started working out with someone. And so it was like really easy because I was going to spin class. I wasn't even strength training yet, but I enjoyed going to the spin class. And then eventually I started strength training with this person. And so then, you know, from then on, I pretty much had a gym membership. And even with the building that I'm in now, like I said, the gym is literally across the street. So I had a gym membership there for a while. And even before I moved where I am now, I would go walk to the gym because it was like a couple blocks away. Again, self-motivated, whatever, but the gym was there. So when my building did a renovation on the gym, I was lucky enough to be a part of that renovation. And so I kind of squeezed in some things that I knew I would really enjoy. And I decided to save the money, save the $30 a month. And I quit the gym. And I haven't been to the gym in over maybe close to 2 years now. And so I just use the equipment that I have in my building. We have kettlebells, dumbbells, cable machine, and some just like regular straight up machines, but I don't use those very much. But I know exactly what to do and how to put things together. And then of course we have the cardio equipment. So for me, it's not perfect. I do miss having barbells and all of that other stuff and some more like exercise variety. And that's made me consider going to the gym again and seeing if it's worth it to do it like 2 times a week just so I can lift really heavy and do some barbell work. But other than that, it's really not necessary for me to spend the money and go to the gym when I have a perfectly fine gym in my building. So I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you made it to this point, definitely let me know below. Has this encouraged you to get a gym membership, discouraged you from getting a gym membership, or has it also made you consider canceling your gym membership? Next up will be tomorrow, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what to actually look for in a gym when you actually decide to do a gym membership. See you tomorrow.